Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your Uncle Jim on Kidney Stories 2 tonight, and we have one heck of a show lined up for you. Our guest tonight, Shondo. My guest tonight is kidney royalty. She has been called a woman on a mission. The unstoppable, unsinkable Lisa Baxter is with us tonight. Lisa is a star on the Urban Health Outreach Media with her show, The Lisa Baxter Show, on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's an author, actress, kidney advocate, dialysis and transplant warrior, and most of all, she's my friend. She's your friend. Please give a warm welcome to our friend, Lisa Baxter. Lisa, how are you?
Hey, Uncle, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm awful glad to see you. Good to see you. I want to do a shameless plug right up front. So tell us a little bit about the Lisa Baxter Show on Sundays.
Wow, I ain't mad at you. Come on here. All right. Well, the Lisa Baxter Show is a dialysis reality transplant show that features resources for dialysis patients, for anybody with a disability, anybody that's watching the show. I have different people on there, different professions, different illnesses, besides kidney things. But we're really pushing kidney awareness and information, education, and I just want to be giving you the 411.
All right. All right. Well, let's get down to some basics then, Lisa, what the people tuned in for. You're a kidney patient, right? You're a PKD patient. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. I have polycystic kidney disease, chronic kidney disease. You know,
Does PKD run in your family? Uh-oh. I think Lisa is frozen. All right. Well, we're waiting for Lisa to come back. Lisa mentioned she's a kidney patient and she has PKD, polycystic kidney disease. So, I have PKD also, and PKD runs in my family, much like it does in Lisa's family. I have 5 relatives that had it, 2 aunts, an uncle, a cousin, my dad, and of course, myself. Originally, they thought my family's PKD came from environmental factors. My dad's family was quarantined in Chicago, and you have to understand, my dad was born in 1914, so that was some time back. Lisa, you're back with us, I think.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
I aim to please.
All right. I understand PKD runs in your family. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Oh, yeah. Boy. Okay.
But my father, he had polycystic kidney disease. And we didn't know anything about that. We just knew he had it. And it has started affecting the family. 6 of us end up on dialysis. All right. I'm the 7th one that was on dialysis when it came to this. But polycystic kidney disease, not on, out of my siblings, one of my sisters have 5 children and 2 of them have it. And my sister has 2 children, one of her children have it. But it has went through different generations, my sisters, their children, and my sister's grandchildren. I so much even had them on the show so they could talk about it, because
Yeah.
polycystic kidney disease can be painful. It can be hard to deal with, especially when the kidneys are big or when they start to bleed or feel a little uncomfortable. It's what kind of disease it is, because you have it yourself.
Yeah.
It
I,
it it can be ugly, and it could be. You just got to learn about it, and you got to fight with it, and you just got to you got to deal with it in the best way that you can.
right. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you have faced as a kidney patient. What are the things that you consider challenging?
Well, when I was on dialysis, my pressure would drop. It would get slow, and I would pass out. I could hear everything around me, but I couldn't respond. If I thought I was responding, but they always tell me, "Oh, Lisa, you didn't say anything." But I thought I died or something because you felt that bad. You get the nausea. You get that weird feeling when like you're passing out, like the room start getting dim or dark. And I hated when I went through that. And when I would go through that, you can hear everyone working on you. You can hear all the noise and everything. One time when my husband was there, he spoke to me, and that's what woke me up. And they always said, "Oh, get her husband. He brings us straight out of it,"
Mitchell.
But Mitchell, yes.
Okay. Can you talk to us a little bit? I went through this myself. Okay. Can you talk to us about the feeling of loneliness that a lot of dialysis patients have? Because I went through a little bit of that myself. The minute people found out I had kidney disease, they sort of disappeared. So I'm wondering if you can talk to us a little bit about your experiences with that.
Well, people were strange, I'd say. I don't know if they made me lonely. One minute, if you told them, they treat you like you were going to break. And then one minute, they treat you like nothing's wrong with you. Oh, girl, pick that up, get that, do this, do that, do that. It was that kind of thing, but that wasn't true. I mean, I didn't want to be treated like I couldn't break, but I don't want to overdo it either. You know what I mean? But it's, I don't know if I would say I was lonely. Maybe in my younger years when I didn't know I had experienced loneliness. And now I'm not even experiencing loneliness, only that I miss my husband. But no, I think people didn't explain it. I had to do workshops and talk to them about it. So I didn't really experience loneliness. People were curious, and then some people didn't want to hear it. They were scared to hear it. Oh God, no, don't talk about that kidney stuff. Well, don't bring that up. Oh, Lisa, please, So, and I'm like, okay. But I used everything as a moment. Slide it in there, like you have to slide Jesus in there sometimes. You don't want it. So I would slide a lesson or something in there. But no, I couldn't say that I was lonely because I had a family that was on dialysis. I had a loving husband of 23 years. I was surrounded with people. Anytime that I was lonely, you would feel that within yourself because you sometimes you just want to relate to somebody dealing with what you're dealing with. But I had some siblings. We didn't all was do the exact thing, but a lot of stuff we had in common. And I find that with a lot of kidney patients in the center, when I was the advocate in 2 of the centers, that you find a lot of things that you had in common, and that will bring you together. The good thing, the bad thing, the ugly thing, the wonderful thing.
Great. I have a couple of notes. You've had instances where your kidneys bled, you had joint disease, you've had arthritis, you've had low calcium most of your life, right? Gum disease and disc disease in your back. So you've had quite a few challenges with your health over the years. Okay.
You couldn't always tell it or see it, but the challenges are there. From being on dialysis so long too takes calcium from your body. So teeth started to get loose. They gave me falsies. Then they fit well. Now they act like they don't want to fit. They don't want to stay in there, and I can't talk to you gumless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The back teeth are starting to get loose. I'm like, God, no. My mouth becomes swollen a lot, or it bleeds when I'm sleeping. No matter how much I brush or floss or rinse, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff with it, and I'm still having issues with that. But the bone joint disease, I got that after the transplant. I dealt with that because of the medication I was taking. I developed diabetes because of the medication. I developed the bone joint disease because of that as well. And low calcium did play a part in that as well. I'm drinking, eating the calcium and trying to build up and everything, the vitamin D.
Okay. And I read someplace that you have some difficulty walking too. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I had a brace because of the arthritis on my right knee, and I had to use that. So I also have a walker because I thought I had the hip problem when it wasn't the hips. It was the disc leaning on the back, which I found out that about a year ago. Because I went through all the specialists and nobody could find anything. And they kept saying, "No, Lisa, nothing wrong with your hips. You move too well. You're so flexible. All of this, it can't be that." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" I said, "If you don't tell me, I'm going to have to take time off of work because I can't take being in pain while I'm at work. Everything I do, I'm in pain. I've done the show many times in pain." So that was difficult. But I find too, when you deal with any kind of pain or disease or sickness, you try to find a lotion, a cream, holistic stuff. You try to find a little bit of everything. You try to relax. You try to pray. You try to worship. You try to sleep. That insomnia is a killer. I think I had 3 hours one night, 4 hours, and then some of that is from family too, because family, I got young people here. They having different things at night, and then the baby, and he cries all the time. I love him, but he cries. So sometimes you're dealing with a balance of things you're trying to fix. You're trying to eat. You're trying to work. You're trying to live. You're trying to save money. You're trying to deal with your other problems. Being a widow. It's just too many things. You got like stuff up the head. But thank God you still deal with it and you do it.
That's the reason I'm asking you these questions, Lisa, because when we get into the things that you've done with your life and your accomplishments as an advocate, I want people to realize that they can advocate for kidney disease too. It doesn't matter what you're fighting or what your challenges are, that if you're dedicated to it, you can do it. And you're a classic example of that. So that's why I'm bringing this stuff up, okay?
You call me classic. You're the classic one. I think you're the kidney royalty. That's what I always think about you, Uncle. Your kidney royalty.
That's very kind of you, Miss Lisa, but I consider you to be in my class and then some. I'm lucky to be talking to you. Tell me a little bit about how you were diagnosed. How did they find out that you had PKD, that your kidneys had failed?
Okay, I was engaged to my husband, and you get the blood test and stuff. My job, you get your physical. I always, I got the blood test, and they started sending me for other tests. The sonogram, and they saw the cysts on the kidneys. And but they didn't say anything to me. I saw them looking at each other, and I'm saying, "Well, is anything wrong?" I was praying. I'm like, I know they don't see nothing. But they kept talking to each other. I'm like, "God, they're not talking to me. They staring at the thing, talking. No, we're going to let the doctor talk to you. He's going to this, that, and the other. They'll send you a note." I'm like, "Well, what kind of job is that?" But I took it. And when the letter did come, my husband, who was my fiance at the time, I told him, "I don't know what this thing says." So I let him read it. He read it to me. And he said that I had polycystic kidney disease. So I said, "Baby, I don't know what that means." I said, "But if you don't want to get married, you want to run for the hills, this is your chance." And he says, "No, honey, I believe God." Now, I believe God, but I needed him to say that, because he the one got to stay or deal with it. I needed him to reassure. Women, we know. But, you want to make sure the fella want to stay or want to do or deal with it, because everybody don't want to sign up for your illness. That's just it. You know what I mean? That's the truth. Nobody want to stay either. So trust me. But he stayed. I
Right.
stayed.
I'm familiar, my friend, with that kind of thing. So, how much time passed between the time you were diagnosed and the time that you went on dialysis?
Okay. Okay. We were engaged. We were getting married. They told me, let me see, I got married in 95. They told me around in 94. And it took about almost 10 years when I actually got on dialysis. So it took about 10 years. So we had some free time in there somewhere.
Okay. How long were you on dialysis?
12 long years, almost 13.
Okay. Okay. And where did you take dialysis?
I took, oh no. I forgot. It's not my show night. Let me try to cut this
It's
off.
the
That's
relief
my sister
corps.
called me from downstairs. That's my sister called me from downstairs. I hope she don't call back. She must be think I'm hungry or something. No. No,
Only
you ain't.
answer
Not
for
now.
money, Lisa.
I know that's right. I hope it's a whole lot of it. You know.
Yeah. So I know where to go get a loan.
Hey, that's right. Come on down. Come on. Now, I'm sorry. What was your question? It threw me a little. I should have cut it off.
It's okay. You told me that you were on dialysis. Where did you take dialysis? And I also recall you're an advocate. We're an advocate in two different centers. Can you talk to us about that too, please?
One was called South Queen Dialysis. I was there for 4 years, and the other one was St. Albans Dialysis Center, where I was for 8 years. When my brother had died at the other center, he died at the center. We all four of us was at the center at the time, me and my other siblings, and we didn't witness him there because we had to be all on different shifts. But we never came back after that. It affected us, and it bothered us so much that they had to separate us. So we went to different centers. So two of my sisters went to another center. But I enjoyed being the advocate. It wasn't an easy job because there's a lot of people in there, and there's a lot of people that need a lot. You know, the social worker in me was able to deal with a lot of the stuff. But after so many years, I started appointing people on different shifts to help me to deal with some of the people, but they would never deal with the person that I made the captain. They coming to me. But I love being an advocate. I'm still an advocate to this day, you know, doing stuff outside the center. But it was a thing where you learn about, you know, the rights of the patients, to help them to deal with certain stuff. They didn't like the way they were being treated, or, you know, they saw favoritism, whatever they were dealing with. Sometimes they just was upset or unhappy with being on dialysis, or unhappy about their life in general because they're sick. And sometimes the caregivers or the family members didn't understand because they're not sick themselves. You can empathize, but when you're not sick yourself, trust me, because I've been a caregiver 3 times, but it's a different thing when you're in that chair, or you in that boat, or you in that bed, trust me. So I enjoy talking to them and enlightening them or encouraging them or just listening. Somebody got to shut up and being an advocate that listen. If I saw a need, I tried to fill it, or I talked to the people that was in charge about what they were dealing with. I took the issues to them, and they were able to do something to help the people in the center.
Excellent, excellent. What led you to the decision to become an advocate? Why did you become a kidney advocate for all of us?
Well, they asked me. I didn't even know that exists. I didn't know, you know. And then when I saw the advocate there, I thought I was very proud. I helped him all I could help him, but he was doing a good job by himself. You know what I mean? But that's a hard job when you sitting there. You really know you need help or assistance or something, and you got some. Even when I was gonna get the transplant, nobody wanted to take that job over. I tried to talk to different ones, you know, leave them in good hands. Man, nobody wanted that job. You know, but
it's a tough job. I've done that job. It's a tough job, Miss Lisa. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is tough.
I noticed that you advocate for several kidney groups: the PKD Foundation, the National Kidney Foundation, the Rear and Gear Cancer Walk. Can you talk about the advocacy that you do for kidney-related groups, please?
Well, the ESRD network. I'm a subject matter expert, and we deal with a lot of different things we put on the table to help patients in different ways. So they would have to ask a patient themselves to try to get an idea. How can we help them? If you don't know a patient or you're not a patient, you can't give anything to that group. So you can know if there's a transplant, all the transplant people get together. If it's a home dialysis, then all the home dialysis get together. Sometimes we all get together at one and we brainstorm. I love those groups. We do things by phone, we do things by Zoom, we do things by meetings and all kind of trainings and award ceremonies, all kind of stuff. Even let me see, the Donors Network. I enjoyed that because I got a chance to sign people up at motor vehicles. So I would have a license plate on there, and I would sit at a table and I would try to talk to different ones. Of course, people ran; they were scared, they didn't know, and something. But sometimes if they saw my arm, that brought a conversation. Or if they they listened but they wasn't listening, or they just take the card and say, I'm gonna fill it out. But you do the best you can. As long as you put it out there and you bring awareness. I like that about Live On New York and the Donors Network, right? What's the other? Polycystic kidney disease. I do their walks. I do the National Kidney Walks, and I raise money. I bring, I also bring awareness. I go to my job and try to get money. I try to donate my own money, and stuff like that to help to bring a cure or something for this disease. The disease is no joke. I mean, I have been hit in the stomach by one of the children, and I started to bleed and everything, and I said, "Wow, why am I bleeding?" And I didn't know what it was. I wasn't pregnant this time or anything like that. So I'm like, "Well, what is this?" It's one of the cysts that bust, and it made me bleed. And when it did that before, the doctor said, "Listen, I don't have any medicine for that. You have to lay down and rest. You do too much stress thing, you do too much stuff. You got to calm down." Even now, they tell me to calm down and sit down, lay down, relax. And I'm gonna try to learn that. I haven't learned it that well as I want to learn it, but I am trying. I'm gonna do better. I have to reduce a lot of stuff.
Miss Lisa, both of us need to learn that one, I'm afraid. I've had some experience with the cyst bursting too. Were you anemic during that period of time? Did you lose a lot of blood?
I was anemic when I had to go on dialysis, and I was anemic during my transplant time, but I don't know if that was the thing that caused me to be anemic. I only been anemic like twice, and I never wanted a transfusion, but I ended up with about 3 when I was going to ask about that. They said, "Lisa, Hannah going to die if you don't do it." That's all they had to say. That's what I call my kidney, Hannah. They said, "Lisa, Hannah." I said, "What? Something going to happen to Hannah?" I said, "Okay, give it to me."
Okay. The other thing I wanted to make clear is all of the things that you've done for these various organizations, you did them all as a volunteer. Is that correct? You were volunteering your time?
Well, yeah, even when they wanted to do the what do you call that? The documentaries. I did 4 different documentaries with different ones, and I thought it was strange after all these years when I wanted a job with them, they didn't give a job. I guess all the years are free. I don't mind doing stuff for free, but now in my situation, being a widow, having 2 jobs, not making enough money, and now I could use, but what are you gonna do if they don't want to hire you? You're good for everything else but a hire. So I don't, and that's the sad part. And I like doing all of that stuff. It's not a competition with each one of the things. I love all of it, even when they had the the where you talk to the people about kidney disease, the National Kidney Foundation. I love that. I did that a very long time. Before I had 2 of my own hotlines, but I had that hotline with them. I really love that. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of good things came out of it. Experience, helping somebody, and it was a blessing and therapeutic and help to you too. So you don't go away without anything. It don't have to be money all the time. Just the fact of you doing it. which is
Okay.
beautiful.
So for the NKF, you were a peer mentor. You were someone that a kidney patient with issues could call up and you could talk to them about their issues, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That takes a lot of time and a lot of patience.
Woo. Yes, it did. And sometimes it was tough. And we were able to talk to them, and it made them understand what dialysis would do. Because some of them was reluctant to get on. They said, "Oh, you got to talk to them." So you just had to make them comfortable and listen. And then after a while, they did eventually get on. I was just sorry when one of them had passed away, but she did go on and passed away a little bit later. But beautiful people, you know. They don't have your direct number. It's a number hooked to your phone, and they call you, and they can call you at any time. Sometimes you had a scheduled time, which was good too.
Okay. You've mentioned a couple of times that you're working two jobs. Can you tell us what jobs you're working currently?
I'm a social worker, for Catholic Charities for 24 years. I work with families. I work with the whole family as a whole. So if you had a whole family and you say, "Well, Lisa, we want childcare," so I put your child in school. If something going on with the grandmother, something going on with the parents. Maybe you're working, you don't need anything. Sometimes people say, they think you're trying to get in their business. They don't say they don't need anything. But you can see, you can observe, because I do home visits too. You can see that they need something. Sometimes I would just put it out there and I wouldn't say anything. I had the information or the pamphlet, the paper, or the website or something like that. And I wouldn't say nothing. I just put it on the table. I slide it over, or just hand them a couple of things that I won't say, "You need this," or "You better," or "You gotta." You just sometimes gotta be gentle with it. And I gave it to them, and it was able to help them. So I've been doing that job a good long time. So I corporate events for the parents, do orientation for them, make sure everything is going well until their child is ready for public school. If the child have a disability, then I'll prepare them for that speech or disability they might have with a joint or a problem, can't walk. I get services for them. I incorporate that with the public school. So I had to do that. That's a special needs coordinator. So, even though you might wear those hats, your job give you one salary and they give you pennies. But I did the job 24 years. I'm still at it. You know what I mean? So that was that job. I worked with Robertson as a health ambassador, where I would go around in the centers, deal with the lobby in the centers, talk to the patients one-on-one, in the unit, out, around the unit, outside, whatever they needed to talk about. Some of them had the catheter too long. Some of them maybe wanted to know about transplant. So you had to put it out there. So our faces was up in the center because it was three of us, and our names were there. So if they needed to talk to us, they'll know we were coming, or they'll know, that we're there for them.
Okay. I understand that you are the CEO of your own charity, Blessed Kidney Connection. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Blessed Kidney Connection, woohoo!
Ooh, shameless plug.
Well, Blessed Kidney Connections, I came up with that because I noticed the dialysis patients sometimes didn't have the things that they need. Sometimes they needed food. You got treatment, but where's the food? You got treatment, but where's the money? You got treatment, but you don't have no help. You need a home attendant. You got treatment. You want to work, but you don't want to work that much. So I would connect you to a job, to a home attendant, to whatever you say you need a connection. I don't know. Maybe you want a hobby. Maybe go back to college. Maybe you need a scholarship. Maybe you got an immigration problem. Maybe you want to get your driver's license. I teach driver's ed. I facilitate a lot of different workshops. I do wellness Wednesdays featuring different illnesses to help people if it's an asthma thing, a heart-related thing, all kinds of things. And the kidney thing had to be in there. So the wellness went with all of that. So that's one of the things I just like, I had to do, and I enjoyed doing, and I just,
Okay. How long have you been with the Blessed Kidney Connection? How long have you been doing this?
I say about 16 years, because I've been dealing with kidney disease and advocacy and stuff for about 20. So, between doing speaking engagements and going to colleges and high schools and prisons, and there's a lot of dialysis patients in prison. You'd be surprised.
Yes.
School, high school, they're all over the place. I go to senior centers, community boards. I make sure every community know about kidney awareness by the community I work in. Every community I worked in knew about it. Even the communities I don't work in, if somebody has me, I will go to the community board meetings, the neighborhood meetings, and I mention it there. And anybody out there can do that. That's a little thing and a simple thing, something that you need to do anyway to get involved with your own neighborhood. And you can just throw that out there, slide it in there. It's worth doing. It's worth doing,
All right. If I wanted to find the Blessed Kidney Connection, like let's say I had a new dialysis patient or a kidney friend, how would I get them hooked up with your charity?
Well, it's not a charity. Every dime comes out of my pocket.
Okay.
The reason why I didn't 501c3 that, which eventually I'm going to have to 501c3 something, but I didn't do that because I'm the whole company.
Okay.
People, like I said, you do a lot of things for all the different organizations, and I don't have no gripe with it. It's just that you don't really need another thing out there. But the difference with mine is that it helped the person exactly with what they were dealing with. It's not like something you got to follow, because a lot of times they only give you stuff if you have to follow that to get that donation or that money. But in this case, it came out of my pocket. You know what I mean? The referral came out, whatever it was, it came out of my pocket. So that was okay. But that's why I didn't 501c3, because I am the secretary, I'm the CEO, I'm the whole thing. And that came hard with having a sick husband after a while and having an illness myself, sick siblings that were sick, and dad and the jobs and stuff. It got to be a lot to have the company. So what I did is I had them call me when they needed it, instead of just all the centers already knew me. They know about the Lisa Baxter show, because I've been doing it 9 years, and I do it on cable and the public access networks and on YouTube. So everything was out there. Once it's out there, you just wait for them to call you or make an appointment or, whatever. Because sometimes people say, I need you to talk to my family member. I need you to talk with my family, or make them understand. I did house calls.
Help somebody find a place to live, right? That's another thing that you do.
That too. If they need a place to live, they want their GED, they need training, whatever they need, they have to just say what it is, because I don't know. Those are some of the things I do, but that's why I post so much resources on the page, because some people are proud and some people don't want to say. So I respect their privacy. So I'll just throw it out there again, put it out there nicely. This might mean you, this might be you, and I put it out there. That's what made me write 6 books. That's what made me do the show for so long. That's what made me do the public service announcements on health and what have you. Because you don't know, I would love to live a very long life, and I plan to live a long life. But you have to do things in balance. But while I got energy, I got to put it all out there. So if and when I slow down or stop or can't or won't, do it, it'll already be out there so much. They can grab from anything that I already did or put out there. And they can always talk to me, because I'll always be approachable and reachable.
Okay. So if people wanted to help, they contact you directly. Could they contact you, for example, on Facebook? Because they drop you a note on
Messenger. I had 3 websites. I don't have any websites anymore. The first one cost me $400. I kept it going a long time. Mr. Jared Brown was helping me with a nice website. He really working good. I ain't mad at him. He always doing something. I ain't mad. He's very creative. And so I mean, they could hit me up on, Facebook, or even on the YouTube channel. Write me a comment. I just got better at that with the comments. I saw the comments. Oh my God, I didn't know they, So I could be a little slow at it, but I do get to you, and I will get to you. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do to get me. Tell a friend or something. Somebody will say, "Oh, I know that Lisa Baxter." I'll tell her. I'll hit her up. I'll text her. I'll call her or something.
Okay. I noticed that you mentioned in some of your work that you travel to advocate, that you do things like street fairs, health fairs, schools. You talk on YouTube. You mentioned prisons. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience traveling to advocate?
I mean, let me see. What is that? I went to Paris, Puerto Rico. Um, well, I will do it as a Kentucky also, because I had got the Advocate of the Year award with AAKP. So that was
Congratulations.
everywhere I went. I would sometimes some people would tell me to call me to do a speech or talk. So I would bring my pins, because I had magnets, pins, keychains, bumper stickers, all about either the Lisa Baxter Show or all about Blessed Kidney Connections or something. I'll say, well, what is it? Take care of your kidneys and they'll take care of you. That's my slogan. Besides, the 411 thing I always say. But that was one of the things. But when I would go, I would, get a room of people, and I would tell them the statistics first, my testimony and story, and then I did a icebreaker about what they knew, so I could get an idea what I'm dealing with in that room, and then I would get questions and answers, do the Q&A thing. So I traveled over doing that, and a lot of hotels was good to me. I've been trying to key up with a lot of hotels, so when we have conventions, they'll either give us free or a discount because of the kidney disease. I have partnered up with an exercising company, so dialysis patients can do the spa thing and all of that. I had keyed into a lot of stuff, and I still keep trying to do that. It's not easy. Sometimes I think my focus is a little off. I notice when you're on dialysis a long time, you sometimes do get foggy in your thoughts. I always had a great memory, always on cue and everything, but now I forget stuff. I do. Sometimes I've done stuff twice, and that's not like me. So I'm like that when I don't get any sleep. I'm crazy when I don't get any sleep, and a little bit mean. I am. So
Yeah.
that not eating does that. So.
Lisa, I understand that you're going to be on a magazine cover sometime soon. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
The Polycystic Kidney Disease Life asked me to be on the cover. And I felt very honored because I was blown away. I'm like, I thought they just going to do a little story or something like that. So I said, okay, well, that's sweet. I still was honored. But when they said the cover, like my hair blew back, glasses went up, and I'm like, what? But anyway, when they told me this, they came here a couple of weeks ago for a photo shoot. And boy, I tell you, that photo shoot took a long time. I went to clothes. And honey, I was sweating. I thought I would pass out. I couldn't eat because when I'm nervous like that, I gotta eat light things. Maybe a shake, like nutrition shake, or a couple of crackers. Even before I did your show, I ate crackers. I haven't had dinner yet because sometimes I'm so excited I can't eat those times. But the photo shoot was excellent. It was almost 4 hours long. The people was kind, and they kept telling me I was one of the best. I don't know if they tell that to everybody, but listen. I'm telling you, they had me taking clothes off and on. I had them all laid out, and they said, I kept telling them I thought the other one I thought that I had on was good, but I knew that other one was a cover magazine one. When they saw that, they said, Miss, put that on, put that on. I'm like, what? But anyway, I was just very honored. I told them my whole story with the family, like I'm telling you guys, and they wrote stuff out and everything like that. They took me working, even with me, taping the show or doing the show. They wanted to take a picture with me, with my husband. This is we had an anniversary on the 12th, and bless them, and with my books, with my books. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your books.
Did he say shameless? Well, I guess it is shameless. I'm not
Shameless
even good.
plug.
But yeah, shame me. So, but they taped me with dad and you know they took pictures and they really did a nice job. I can't wait to see it. It comes out in September and it's called Polycystic Kidney Disease Life magazine. They sent me one today. It's not my one yet, but I'm like, what? You know. But I was very honored and very surprised. And these are some of the things you want. Anything that's gonna bring awareness, you wanted to bring it.
Gotcha. And the Polycystic Kidney Disease Foundation, they also did an interview with you that I read, which was a darn good interview. Congratulations on that as well. And see, Uncle Jim does his homework, Miss Lisa.
Oh man, they got me running when they did that documentary. Forget it. My date with my husband, me working on the computer. That's when we had our house, and the jogging and the running up and down the street, the cooking and the preparing of meals. They take everything of you, and they have the booklets to go with it. You know, so I was really honored and happy. I'm like, what? Again, I'm like, what? You know, but that like blew me away. All the stuff blew you away. Even with the ESRD network for a COVID thing, they asked me to do something with a COVID campaign. You know, I'm like, okay, I would say no.
Tell me a little bit about your kidney transplant. I understand you had a transplant. When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who donated? All that kind of stuff. Tell us.
Wow. Well, first of all, I just want to put on a record. My husband surprised me and wanted to give me a kidney. He got tested and was a perfect match. When he was down to giving me the kidney, they found a valve in his heart that wasn't attached, right? And then he got high blood pressure. And when they said when you have high blood pressure or diabetes, the reason why they don't like you to donate is because you need the other kidney. So I just wanted to go on record saying that about my baby. Anywho, June 29th, 2016, I was at work and I got a call. Child, let me tell you, I got that call. I got on about, I don't know how many trains that was to go to Mount Sinai, but I got on 2 trains. I took some pictures before and, you know, after. I even taped myself during the transplant. I took pictures with the doctors. I mean, I posted them things on Facebook. I put them everywhere because I knew I had to write about those things too, you know. So I had, oh man, that was a beautiful day. I mean, that day they only gave me how many hours? They gave me 30 minutes of dialysis only. It was from a deceased donor. A young man, mother had passed away, and he gave me her kidney. I didn't know him, but they did allow me to write a sweet letter to him. And boy, did I write it sweet. I wrote it as sweet as I could write it, you know, and I was grateful and I was happy. But I would have stayed a few days, but I ended up staying about 11 days because other things started acting up. It never was Hannah. Hannah was fine from the gate. And I kept telling the doctor that. Hannah is fine. Don't stop biopsying her, bothering her, because the more you aggravate her, she might stop working. You know, so, but the transplant, it's been 4 years. And I always get checked out. You know how you do the every, few times a week till you get to the once a week, to every other week, till you get to, once a month, till you get every 3 months and every 6 months, goes on and on and on. And I just recently had my checkup for that, my blood work and everything. Everything is still excellent. I stay on top of everything. I was strict with myself on dialysis, and I'm strict with myself with this. I have things in balance. I'm not perfect, but I eat some things. But if my report card is bad, I would never eat anything wrong or terrible. But I'm happy to have my transplant.
Okay.
Issues with it now, that normal stuff. But other than that, I'm very happy to have it.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the Lisa Baxter show before you went on the Urban Outreach Network, because I understand you and your husband Mitchell, you were married for 23 years. You developed this show on cable, Twitter, Google, and you used various locations, and you mentioned you interviewed patients, caregivers, doctors, friends, families, talked about being on dialysis, talked about dialysis education. Tell us a little bit about how you and Mitchell developed the show.
Well, I wanted to, I pray and I trust God about everything. And I got this brainstorm idea. I thought it was crazy, but I was excited about it. So, since I've dealt professionally with acting and everything, I wanted to do something that was never on thing. But I tried to do it. So my husband would do little things with me. I forgot what we was calling it then, but he did little things with me that I put out there. But then I got into a contest. And they kept saying I won the contest. It was a contest to say, if you had your show, what would you call it and what would you do with it? So, I put it in. I wanted to see what would happen. I put it all in. And they called me. I'm like, what? I said, oh my God, how am I going to produce this stuff? I had to borrow somebody's camera and all of this. And it had to be put on different digital type of things. I had to deal with editing and all kind of crazy stuff that I don't remember now. But anyway, yeah. So once I came together with that, I said, her, listen, I want to do a show, but I want to get this show from the patient point of view, the doctor point of view, the family member, because whoever dealing with the illness got a whole different story from the caregiver. And the doctor, who's, hate to say it, but it's true, making the money, got a whole different thing too. He can care and love us, but he's still making money. He got a different thing. So I did the social worker of the dialysis center. I went through everything. A lot of foundations and places don't want to do the show with me, but I'm still working on them. The Diabetes Foundation, the Arthritis Foundation. I try to get scoliosis because I want to deal with different illnesses too. Because sometimes a dialysis patient have more than one illness, and sometimes it's good to know about something else besides you. You ain't the only one sick, so know something else. But when I did that show and they loved it and couldn't believe it, they allowed me to do it. But I told them, listen, I'm only doing one show a month. And that's what I could do because my husband had a serious illness. He had colon cancer, stage 4. And he almost lived with that 3 years. And stuff started dwindling down between that, going to dialysis. From early in the morning, getting my dialysis, I had to take off work and go with him to chemo. That day was a 12-hour day dealing with that. Plus we shooting. So sometimes I would shoot 2 or 3 shows because all I had to do to produce was 12 and hand it to them. I could bring it to them all at once or a little bit at a time or whatever. But I had did them all and I had them all because I knew my husband was sick. I don't feel right all the time, but I wanted to do it when I had energy like I'm doing it now, Shondo. So that's how it went. So and it came out really good. All of a sudden people started wanting it. Even 2 people, they always getting calls for that. And now, Lifetime is want to deal with it. Channel 5 want to deal with it. Fox 5 and it was another one, Channel 13. But I just want to put kidney awareness out there, and I do it free as long as life. I could do it free. Everything I won't get paid for. If they're gonna pay me, I'll take it. But I just said that to say this because it's so important. If you got a gift out there, use it. You can incorporate it. Sometimes people with a different thing on the show, I still incorporate kidney disease with it. Go ahead, host. I'm acting like I'm over here. Go ahead.
No. You're doing fine. I checked you. I checked you out, Lisa. You've done over 100 videos for your show. You have a YouTube channel, over 250 subscribers. Common theme that I see that runs through your shows: dialysis can be a blessing, self-care, education about kidney disease. Tell us, why do you do it? What's your purpose? What's your objective? And who's your audience? Who are you trying to reach?
Well, I'm passionate about this thing. Let me tell you something. Kidney disease is under a rock, and I really wish it wasn't under there. And that's why I keep pushing the show. I'm not trying to, come on here and then run away and do something else. I want to spread it all over because it needs to be spread. It's like in one spot. You ever made a jelly and peanut butter sandwich and it's only in one spot? You got to cover the whole bread. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to do. cover all of the bread, you know, so the sandwich it tastes good. Cover the whole thing. You don't want just the peanut butter stuck in your throat. You want to cover the whole thing. You need that jelly. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I it's a passionate thing for me. I'm very deep about that, and I couldn't push it enough. You know, they tired of people. I used to mail the show to people, talk to producers, people slam doors in my face. People tell me, "Oh, you're not a doctor who told you to write a book." Well, I got love, but I got a lot of mean stuff too. Get out of here, shut up.
Yeah.
No, you know, oh, you ain't all that. Oh, I've been insulted, friend. Feelings been hurt. You know, been exhausted, been tired. And I had people that come to me and say, Lisa, you can't give up the show, or Lisa, you can't not do that. You know, I'm glad that I have subscribers. I'm glad the people out there. You know, I'm trying to ride it to the wheels fall off. I hope my wheel won't fall off, but I'm ride it to the wheels fall off. You know, it means
Okay,
everything.
Lisa,
It just
grab your books again, Lisa. I'm going to ask you about being an author. Show us your books again. Grab your books. Okay, I have you writing 6 books. The majority of them for children. Through the eyes of a dialysis patient, and measly takes dialysis to show and tell. Small voices, big noises. Mostly children's books. Why do you write books? What's the reason that you write books? And where can we find them if we want to buy them?
Well, okay. This was my first book. All right, through the eyes of a dialysis patient, because you don't understand what a dialysis patient go through. I wanted to make it real simple, and through my eyes, I wanted you to see, and from some eyes that I noticed that, you know, from the senses, I needed you to see what they was dealing with and what they was going through. So chapter by chapter, what you got to do, what you deal with, what you go through. You can get this from books at bookbaby.com. Books with an S at bookbaby.com. All right. I've been known to give them away. I've been known to, you know, make them even cheaper than what they were. And I made the price for this, but the company Ex Libris made the price for this one. I thought it was too high, but they wouldn't listen to me. But Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell deals with a child that notices that her great aunt is on dialysis, and she took a picture of her on dialysis to show and tell, to explain it to the other kids, and it ended up going like through the 5 boroughs of New York, and then spreading even bigger. So I wrote the book also because I see children on dialysis. That was a heartbreaking thing to see children and young people on dialysis, and meeting some with kidney disease, even in my own family and outside of it. So this one is at Barnes and Nobles, and this one is exlibris.com, and it was one more place, Barnes and Nobles. I'm missing something. Barnes and Nobles. Amazon. Bless your life. Yeah, this is at Amazon as well.
Okay. So, and I understand you sign books for people too. Is that right?
Yeah, I've done a few book signings. I have, you know, I gave them to the prisons, libraries, the communities, and stuff like that, because I wanted it in the community so anybody can go to it as a point of reference if they don't buy the book. So if they didn't buy the book, I gave it away, or I put it somewhere they can get it anytime they want without paying a dime.
Okay. Lisa, one of the other things that I noticed is that you've done some political advocacy. You've marched, you spoke with some of your assemblymen, you spoke with senators and your representatives in Congress. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences with that, please?
Whew. Well, one of the things I had liked about that is that that's an all-day experience. Boy, you get up early in the morning. And I did that with Sydney, Center for Independent People with Disabilities. And I'm telling you, you have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You had to take the bus all the way up to where they are, and you had to go in each segment of the, you know, of the each senator, each assemblyman, and they were able to sit there and hear your story. Sometimes it was in a large room, sometimes it was in a smaller room or setting, or like an assembly type place where you see like a whole row of people sitting, that supposed to be people of power, people that can make a change, or people that can, change something, add something, or make something better because of what you say. So your kidney story means a lot, and any disability you're dealing with means a lot. And when that man listened and talked back to me, and talked back to us, I was really blown. And that kind of thing, you really got to show your arm and everything. This is my fistula. It
Yeah, I
still
was going
works.
to ask you
I
about
don't
that.
need
Thank
it.
you.
I don't need it anymore, but it still works. It's still pumping and bumping, but I use it as a piece to talk to people, whether it's on the bus, even in the centers where I bring my books for the daycare centers. I use it for that, and the kids learn and they know. And I do the little "where's your kidneys" right in here, and it keeps your blood really clean, and the kids learn that, and let them know that the kidneys the size of a fist. They learn just like that. You guys got to make it interesting and fun.
I'm going to quote to you a quote that you gave from your pastor, and I plan on stealing it if it's okay with you. The quote is, "I love what I'm doing, and I love the people I'm doing it with." Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Now, you did your homework, and I miss Pastor Lois. That's my Archbishop wife that passed away that always said that. She
Okay, I'm
always
sorry.
said that. Yeah, me too. That was a woman to be reckoned with, a praying woman. Pastor Lois Elaine Rochard, who have a fund that help people to go to school and scholarships. But anywho, yeah, I love the people that like the Urban Network. I love you guys. I love doing the stuff what we do. I love working with y'all. Even though I get tired and frustrated and crazy and everything like that, I think I'm getting more like that lately. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I love you guys, and y'all, I know y'all love me back. So I thank you. And even the audience out there, I get a lot of great feedback from everybody out there. And I just appreciate that. Sometimes it makes me cry, I get a choke. So I do love what I do. And I do love the people that I'm doing it with. Yes, go ahead and steal it. Archbishop Rochford always says, nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I ain't mad at him about that either. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. He always say that too. So I stole some quotes, so you can go and steal them.
Oh, well, thank you. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your faith and how it provides support. Can you talk to us a little bit about that tonight?
Wow. Well, at 12 years old, my whole family brought us to church our whole lives. But at 12 years old, I got filled with the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. And, I just love God. And in my church, we're a big church family, New Life Cathedral, 110 Juniors, between Liberty and Grimmo in Brooklyn. And I mean, we pray together, we talk, we sing, and we do a lot of stuff for the community. We feed them, we clothe them. And in our church, we had at least, I think it was 6 people that was on dialysis. A lot of it was my family, but we had about 6 or 7 people on dialysis. And my point is that whatever illness or stuff that we was dealing with or going through, even death, people, they pull together. So I thank God for my church family. I thank God for Jesus, because I didn't always have high esteem. I had low esteem. I was very shy. And God had made me love myself, made me care about myself, and made me care about other people. So I love doing what God called me to do and told me to do, and serving people is it. I call my service a ministry of help. And our church, when you don't have a title, I don't need no title. I can preach, I can sing, and what have you. But I will, I a ministry of help. I can help whatever it says. The Bible says, whatever your hands is to do, whatever you find your hands to do, do it. So if my hands is supposed to help you, then I'm doing that. If the show is what helped you, I'm doing that. Giving out resources, I'm doing that too. Showing you some love, oh, God knows I'm doing that. So I love God, and I'm glad he loved me. He gave me his son. He died for me, and he rose again. I'm grateful. I'm very active in my church. I do outreach, feed people. I do all kinds of stuff. I do social work in my church. So anybody come up that needs something, I give it out. Whatever they come from a drug, whether it's a drug program or whatever it is, I got to refer them to help, recovery, rehab, a shelter, apartment, a job, whatever it is, even activities with the family. And I teach Sunday school. I was over the youth department 13 years. I've been an usher. I'm a what did they call me? Some kind of member, because I've been in the church since it started 41 years ago. I was 16 when our church started. So I'm glad to still be there and still to be alive and kicking and active.
Excellent. Excellent. Lisa, as a kidney patient and a kidney advocate, we have to deal with this new problem, COVID-19. Tell us about some of the things that you are doing to protect yourself. Set a good example for us. Tell us what you do.
Well, I definitely do social distancing. I definitely wash my hands. You know, I have my my hand sanitizer. I wear the mask. I have my gloves. You know, I watch out. You know what I mean? I do what I have to do. But I was loving that I was on the campaign to help people do better. So we had to, with I believe it was the ESRD network, where we had to iPro, where we had to make the sign about COVID-19, and then we also had to make statements about it and hold pictures up to encourage people on dialysis and with transplant, because our immune system cannot take another disease or another hit, another anything. So I'm definitely protecting myself in every way I can. Even though I'm having issues with young people in the family and young people that I know that don't wear masks or have visitors that don't. And that's just a hard thing. I made a joke skit about that, but it really happens and it really is true. But I try to be careful or easy. I wear a mask in the house if I notice somebody came in and they don't have one, or gloves, or I go to a whole nother room. I just go back upstairs, or I try to get away. I Lysol everything. The poor can is running out. All the disinfectant stuff is running out, but I try.
I was going to say, I got your cartoon today. I want to let you know that I passed that around a little bit. And in particular, I put it in my group, Kidneys and the Coronavirus. So I wanted to make sure that people saw it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Wow.
I tried very hard to cover the waterfront today in the time that we had. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that I should have, or that you would want our audience to know is going on with Lisa Baxter right now? Is there anything that I missed?
Well, one time, I think at one point I was writing for, they gave me a health column to write stuff, and I wrote about kidney disease. I forgot about that. I remember that like 2 days ago. I forgot about it. You know what I mean? And I was going to even do a radio show, but the Lisa Baxter show I've had, that is all. But I would say, I said that to say this: I don't care what your gift is. I use everything from singing to the poetry that I write to put stuff out there. Gribbet Gets a Kidney is my next book, and I'm working on that now. And my books are going into stores now, other stores and stuff. People want it. And I was surprised about that. I just thank God for the open doors, because he will open doors for you. I just don't want you to give up. I don't care what kind of illness or sickness you got. You know what I mean? Rub that pain down. Put some praying oil on it. Breathe, get up. Sit in the cyst bath if you got hemorrhoids. Whatever you got to do to make this thing work, because I deal with hemorrhoids, so I'm sorry. But I had to put it out there. When you don't drink water, you deal with that. When I got on dialysis, that was one of the issues, that sickness I never had came. That's another thing. Those the surprise illnesses is a trip. But no matter what you do, I'll sing till I feel better. I'll pray till I feel better. I even sometimes cry till I feel better, or I'll go for a walk. Now, sometimes I need some air, or sit on a beach or on a porch, till I feel better. But I will read the Bible, say 100 scriptures. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God shall deliver us out of them all. Deliverance is coming your way. Don't you dare give up. Don't you dare give up. We'll all hear from you. Every last one of us on every show of Urban Health and then some. So you got us and you definitely got God. So don't you give up.
I wanted to end the show tonight, Lisa, with a quote that's attributed to you that talks about the nature of your advocacy. Quote, I want to educate, encourage, and boost public awareness of how it's possible to live a full and productive life on dialysis. That's my friend, Lisa Baxter. Thanks, everybody. You have a good evening. We'll talk soon. Scott Burton, Tom Otterman coming up very soon as guests. So thank you, Lisa, for coming on our show tonight, and I appreciate very much you taking time. Great advocate and a very good friend.
So what you say? Mad respect, and love. Thank you very much, you and everybody. God bless.
God bless, my friend. And that's our show for tonight. So check in. Scott Burton coming up next week. My friend Tom Otterman coming up soon. I've got a couple other things in the works to try and get a little international flavor into the show. So check back with us. You have a good week. I'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.